Starship Troopers wasn't your normal sci-fi film. The director didn't even finish the book. He aimed for razor-edged propaganda instead. There was a real 12-day boot camp grinding the cast in a wind-blasted Wyoming canyon, and a co-ed shower scene that only happened after the director briefly stripped to prove a point. From Hell's Half-Acre doubling as alien battlefields, to uniforms deliberately echoing World War II imagery, this movie hides sharp teeth beneath the explosions. Test screenings, near disasters, and VFX breakthroughs. Here are 20 unreal facts about Starship Troopers. The punchline? It's propaganda with perfect hair. This isn't sci-fi, it's a recruitment ad with explosions. Number 1. Wyoming's alien landscape. Imagine waking up early each morning in a remote canyon in Wyoming called the Hell's Half-Acre. Its jagged rock formations, dusty gullies, and harsh isolation made it perfect for staging Klendathu and Planet P, the bug worlds in Starship Troopers. The crew busted their backs hauling gear, building roads, hauling generators, and transforming the unwelcoming terrain into a believable alien battleground. Even the local government chipped in, helping with infrastructure because the site was so undeveloped. Number 2. Weather that shaped both challenges and drama. But the setting wasn't just cinematic, it was brutally real. By day, scorching heat baked the landscape, whereas by night, it plunged into icy winds and sudden blizzards. Torrential rain occasionally mixed with bentonite in the soil and turned the ground into slick clay that swallowed everything. From cables to even trucks and cars, nothing was safe. The set had to be evacuated, then rebuilt. For all that chaos, only a few filming days were lost. But the damage to morale, time, and budget was steep. Number 3. Boot camp out of the comfort zone. Before cameras rolled, principal cast members and a few extras underwent a grueling 12-day boot camp led by military consultant Dale Dye. They were physically trained by miles of running and weapon drills high above the sea level. So what if the tents were freezing and were exposed to windstorms and blizzards? There were no days for rest. When Denise Richards, who wasn't even required to do it, joined in, she said it gave them such a hard time that she bonded with her co-stars, Van Dien and Jake Busey. Number 4. Casper Van Dien's awkward school pickup. Years after Starship Troopers, Casper Van Dien had a humbling Johnny Rico moment at his daughter's school. As he pulled up, a pack of 10-year-old boys shouted, "Johnny Rico!" Apparently, their dads had made them watch the cult sci-fi classic, and word had spread pretty fast. His daughters were mortified. "Dad, were you really naked?" his eldest asked in horror. When he confirmed it, his youngest claimed her life to be ruined, resulting in the longest 3-minute drive of Van Dien's lifetime. Who knew the heroism of a dad could be undone by his own cinematic glory? Number 5. Dina Meyer's painful battle injury. During the intense bug attack scene where Michael Ironside's character loses his legs, chaos reigned on set. Amid the dust, pyrotechnics, and stunts, Dina Meyer, who was playing Dizzy Flores, was struck in the head by equipment and knocked out cold. She suffered a concussion, but later recalled how the adrenaline of filming and Verhoeven's relentless energy kept her going, and she didn't even give her injuries a second thought. In true trooper spirit, she returned to set as soon as she could. Ironically, her on-screen toughness mirrored her off-screen resilience perfectly. Just like her character, Dizzy wasn't giving up anytime soon. Number 6. Paul Verhoeven, the Big Bug. Most of the Arachnids in Starship Troopers were created using CGI, but a few life-sized animatronic models were built for reference. Since the actors often had to perform without seeing the creatures, director Paul Verhoeven took matters in his own hands. Quite literally, he would jump, shout, and act out the bug's movements himself to help the cast react more realistically. Actor Clancy Brown later said these unpredictable moments from Verhoeven added energy and authenticity to the chaotic battle scenes. Number 7. Paul Verhoeven couldn't finish the book. Paul Verhoeven once admitted that he only managed to read the first 2 chapters of Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers before giving up. He found the novel boring and depressing, too heavy with militaristic and right-wing ideals for his taste. So instead of trying to make a faithful adaptation, Verhoeven took a bold detour. He asked screenwriter Edward Neumeier to summarize the rest for him, then used that foundation to craft a satirical, propaganda-filled vision that mocked fascism rather than glorifying it. Number 8. Denise Richards refused an added topless scene. Denise Richards, who played the ambitious pilot Carmen Ibanez, stood her ground when an unscripted topless scene was suddenly proposed during filming. Verhoeven had written it in later, possibly to match the movie's provocative tone, but Richards didn't see any real purpose for it. She told the director she wasn't comfortable with it, and to his credit, he didn't push back. The scene was dropped, leaving Richards' performance defined not by shock value, but by charm, confidence, and strength. The very qualities that made Carmen unforgettable. Number 9. Blank ammo excess. The film goes big on firearms, and behind that polish was a staggering amount of blank ammunition. Estimates suggest over 300,000 blank rounds were used during filming, which is a lot more than many prior war films at that time. The volume was necessary to produce dramatic muzzle flashes, but it also increased the danger, risk of injury, cost, and just the logistical burden of coordinating safety. Number 10. Misunderstood satire, eventual cult status. When Starship Troopers first came out, many audiences saw it as a straight-up sci-fi action movie. Over time, critics and fans began reinterpreting it as satire, a critique of militarism, propaganda, and nationalistic fervor. Verhoeven drew from his own experiences in occupied Netherlands and successfully embedded sharp commentary of true events. That subtext eventually became one of the film's most celebrated strengths, even if it was misunderstood in early release. Enjoying this deep dive? Please subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you think and genuinely means a lot. New film facts and behind-the-scenes stories every week. Thanks for being here. Number 11. A controversial script origin. The evolution of Starship Troopers began with Edward Neumeyer's early treatment called Bug Hunt at Outpost 7, in which teenage romance and xenophobic, jingoistic war themes were already mixed. Neumeyer and John Davison sought Paul Verhoeven for direction because he could bring out the dark undercurrents of propaganda and militarism. Adapting Heinlein's novel was never intended to be slavish, but it became a story about how dangerous simplistic war narratives can become when dressed up with spectacle. Number 12. The shower scene and a director's bold bargain. One of the most talked about sequences is the co-ed shower scene where recruits explain their motivations. The actors refused to film it unless Paul Verhoeven participated in solidarity, naked. He agreed. Cinematographer Jost Vacano also stripped down briefly. The shoot lasted 11 hours and was tightly controlled, which means only essential crew remained. That willingness to blur lines between actor and director, between art and statement, set the tone for how far the film was willing to push uncomfortable themes. Number 13. Massive background cast for epic battles. When the film moved into the night battle on Klendathu sequence, it wasn't just a few dozen extras. Each night they brought in about 1,300 background troopers for sweeping melee scenes. It wasn't just for show, but to make the chaos feel as real as it can by the volume of people, the dust, and the lights. It also amplified every logistical headache. Wardrobe, makeup, feeding, coordinating movement, lining up explosions, and ensuring safety in the dark. Number 14. Dinah Meyer's unscripted smack. During the timeout sequence in the high-energy jump ball game, Dinah Meyer's fiery personality came through in an unexpected way. To get Casper Van Dien's attention, she actually smacked him on the side of the head, completely unplanned. His startled reaction in the scene wasn't acting, but real. Director Paul Verhoeven loved the authenticity and decided to keep it in the final cut. It perfectly captured the teasing competitive chemistry between their characters, Dizzy and Johnny, showing that some of the movie's best moments were born from spontaneity. Number 15. Test audiences forced emotional changes. Before release, Starship Troopers went through small but significant edits after test screenings. Viewers reacted strongly to Carmen's torn feelings between Rico and Xander, insisting that a woman couldn't love two men at once. Many even felt she was immoral for prioritizing her career over her romance with Rico, suggesting she should have died instead of Dizzy. Although Paul Verhoeven refused to rewrite the story entirely, he did cut a post-battle kiss between Carmen and Rico to avoid intensifying audience disapproval. Number 16. Military uniforms inspired by World War II imagery. Verhoeven designed the film's world to feel familiar, yet disturbingly authoritarian. Nearly every uniform worn by the Federation soldiers borrows from World War II German and SS paramilitary attire. These include sharp lines, heavy boots, and insignias echoing totalitarian design. Even the Federation flag subtly mirrors the Nazi-era imperial eagle. This was no accident. Verhoeven grew up in Nazi-occupied Holland, so he used these visual cues as biting satire. He wanted viewers to question whether the heroes they were cheering for were actually part of a fascist machine disguised as patriotism. Number 17. Casper Van Dien's painful preparation. To shoot the brutal flogging scene where Johnny Rico is publicly whipped, Casper Van Dien took method preparation seriously. He lost 15 pounds before filming to appear gaunt and vulnerable, emphasizing his character's humiliation and exhaustion. The whipping itself was achieved through clever effects and choreography, but Van Dien's visible tension and grit were entirely real. The physical strain helped sell the moment as one of the film's rawest scenes and stands as a reminder that behind all the glossy satire, Starship Troopers also carried genuine emotional and physical stakes. Number 18. From box office flop to cult classic. When Starship Troopers premiered in 1997, critics were baffled. Many misread its militaristic tone as sincere rather than satirical, calling it shallow or fascist. Despite a massive $105 million budget, it underperformed at the box office. But time changed everything. Audiences later realized Verhoeven's genius in the way he blended biting irony, political commentary, and exaggerated heroism was ahead of its time. The film found new life through home video and streaming, becoming a beloved cult classic and an enduring conversation about propaganda, war, and media manipulation. Number 19. The Arachnid effects. The alien arachnids. Yes, those terrifying insectoid creatures were brought to life using a blend of practical effects and early CGI by Tippett Studio. Each battle sequence, especially the Klendathu massacre, required months of rendering per shot. Some shots took up to 70 hours per frame due to the high level of detail, shadows, and movement synchronization with live actors. The work was so demanding that some animators reportedly slept in the studio. The result, though, was groundbreaking for 1997 and still visually impressive today. Number 20. Real ammunition was accidentally used. During production, several scenes involving the troopers firing their weapons used blanks, but on one occasion, live ammunition was mistakenly mixed in. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the incident caused a serious safety scare on set. The production immediately halted filming to ensure strict weapon check protocols were enforced. Considering the film's massive number of pyrotechnics and action sequences, it was a miracle that no one was injured throughout the chaotic and explosive shoot. Starship Troopers looks like a wild sci-fi war film, but underneath, it's a sly test of what we cheer for. It shows some very clear contrasts between bravery and blind obedience, and raises questions about who we are really rooting for. So what do you see when you watch it? A victory or a warning? Don't forget to subscribe if you want to look deeper into films that make you look twice.